when I travel around, I do invite organizations to participate in what I call an AI readiness assessment. And this gives us a chance to really see how organizations are feeling about AI and what they're thinking about it and how they're implementing it. So what I thought we would do is we would do a little version of that here today. Now, in front of you on your seats, you will have found a card, right? And this card, let me grab one to demonstrate. Okay, so you have this card in front of you. Now, this card has some information on it. I'm going to point that out later. But for now, we're going to use it as a high-tech voting instrument. Okay, now let's just test it and see if it works. Okay, so it's always good to test your technology. So real quick, if you are a dog person, if you would describe yourself as a dog person, go ahead and raise your card up high. Oh, me too. I have 2 amazing dogs at home. I'm sure that your dogs will be delighted when you get home and so excited to see you. I do not want anybody to feel left out. If you are a cat person, raise your card. I bet you can't wait to go home and be totally ignored. Okay, so using these cards in front of you, one of the questions that we ask is whether or not you believe that AI will transform your industry. So if you believe that, go ahead and raise your cards up high. Everybody have a look around. You are in good company, and it's not because Andy just told you that it's going to happen, but 98% of the business leaders that we talk to either know or feel it's likely or definite that it's going to have an impact on their industry. So we're seeing this transformation at the organization level, but what about for the people? So when we think about the people and we think about how they feel about it, I would love for you to take a moment and raise your cards if you are maybe still wrestling with AI a little bit. You are maybe not sure if you're using it effectively, or you're not 100% sure how you feel about the privacy associated with AI, or perhaps you just feel overwhelmed by all the tools and the options. Go ahead and raise your card if you would think that describes you. Have a look around. You're in good company. 75% of employees feel a lack of confidence when it comes to this technology. So they are feeling a bit uncertain, but here's the other interesting result that we get back on our data, and that is for all of that uncertainty, people are incredibly optimistic. They are hopeful, and they believe that AI can do things for their business and for the people that they serve internally and externally in ways that they've never been able to support before. So the potential is there. Now, I've been on a mission on the past few years to really understand why some organizations are excelling with AI while others maybe continue to struggle a bit. And in our research, what we have found is not really what I initially thought would happen. In our research, what we found is that the organizations who are really excelling with AI, really embracing it effectively and seeing the return on those results, are not the ones that have the biggest tech budgets, and they're not the ones that are typically the most cutting edge. Instead, we found that the organizations who are really leveraging AI effectively are the ones who take a human-first approach to AI. And when we looked at how they implemented that human-first approach and what that looked like, we found that there were 7 key elements that they embraced as part of their strategy. First, they took time to understand the opportunities that were associated with AI. They also prioritized those opportunities so that they could pick the ones that would deliver the most value right away. They also had an AI-first approach. And that meant that they didn't just tack AI on to the end of some existing process. They actually took the opportunity to step back and rethink what they could do with AI as a core component to it. In addition, they reinforced those AI-related skills. Julie talked about this earlier today, where she talked about the need for critical thinking and all of the elements that make a really good use of AI. Then they accelerate with tech and tools. Only one element of the 7 things that they do involves tech and tools. And they deployed it in stages so that organization had a chance to consume that technology, embrace it, leverage it before moving on. And last but far from least, they were continuously evolving, meaning that they're always monitoring what's happening in the world with AI so that they could be taking that on board. Now today, we're going to focus on reinforcing those AI-related skills.